Ladies, gents, and everyone under the sun, welcome back for another episode of the Container Podcast. Jackie, Kyle, how are you doing, guys?
What's up? Doing good.
Yeah, doing well.
I think that I might have to adjust your volume a little bit, but I myself am doing great. Today was my last midterm exam, and I had the chance of saving the easiest for last. It wasn't particularly planned, but we like it when it's like that.
It's a good conclusion to midterms. Having a nice little easy exam.
It was just an hour. The others were 3, so
There you go.
it says a lot. What about you, Jackie? How was your day?
Oh, my day went well. I mean, I'm already done with my midterm, so me, I've just been enjoying the spring break. Because it's all, I've got my spring break week just before you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm already started, almost done with the vacation, and I'll be back to school on Monday.
Oh no.
All good things must come to an end, right?
Yes, that's true.
Well, for us at least, they won't. Because in the near future at least. Because we still have a lot of episodes left of our new favorite series to watch along. Chernobyl.
It's only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh my god, Kyle.
Episode 2 on 5.
Kyle, what did you show us? What was that?
Pretty good, huh?
Who made this? What a genius.
No, and if you guys been watching along, we watched the 2 first episodes. So we watched one last week, and then we watched episode 2, like just before.
Yeah, right before.
Maybe like 20 minutes before we finished episode 2, and I think right after this we're gonna watch episode 3.
Yeah,
That's
boy.
pretty much it. Yeah,
And-
if we're able to do it, I think by the podcast of next week we'll be able to review the full series. Yeah, but now we're going to talk about the 2 first episodes of that quite impressive series, Chernobyl. I'm quite impressed.
How do you pronounce it in English?
Chernobyl, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is it Chernobyl? Something like that.
Chernobyl. I don't know actually.
'Cause, you know,
Chernobyl.
yeah, that's how we call it. Chernobyl.
Hey. I have my family comes from the Ukraine,
Yo.
and when I was in high school, and mind you, I was born here in Canada, right?
Yep.
I was called the Chernobyl boy.
Nah.
But you know, it's life. You gotta just accept it. Say, yeah, making fun of me, but it was my friends. It wasn't like I wasn't getting bullied there. It was just, the nicknames that friends give. Like my friend, he's Vietnamese.
Yeah.
You guys know him, and I used to call him Agent Orange, which So you see, we weren't pretty nice to each other in terms of names.
Bro, kids are the worst. They really
Yeah,
are.
kids are the worst, but those are one of the best nicknames I've ever heard for friends. Top tier right there.
That's high on your ranking list, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Agent Orange for a Vietnamese boy, it's
Chernobyl
it's
boy.
kind of good. Kind
yeah,
of good.
man. Hey, it's pretty good. It's really good.
Creative.
Creative. Like, I haven't had many nicknames, to be honest. Usually the French guy or the Romanian. Or
Romanian.
yeah, I don't know, man. Some people thought I came from Romania. I don't know what Romanian looked like, but
Maybe, I guess. I don't
And
know.
other times they were more straight up insults towards my ethnicity, but shit like that happens everywhere.
just when you're a kid and everything, it's okay. But it's later on that you don't want to be called, "Hey, Chernobyl."
You got a problem with this shit? With my heritage?
So we watched, like I said, the first 2 episodes. So the first episode is called 1:23:45, and that is the exact time that the Chernobyl plant exploded. And the second one is called "Please Remain Calm."
Oh
And
my god.
the third one is called "Open Wide, O Earth."
Oh my god.
So I'm excited. Because I watched this. This is my second viewing of Chernobyl, and no, sorry, it's my third viewing of Chernobyl. I had watched it first once by myself, and then the second time with my mother. Actually, we were trying to figure out something to watch, and I said, "Hey, watch this. It's great." We watch that, and now it's my third time, and again, I don't know, for me, like I gave it 5 out of 5 there on Letterboxd. For me, it's just it's perfect in every matter. I like everything that they did with it. There's not one episode that I deemed bad, or it doesn't stop. You're hooked, and that's what I liked about it. Remember when I was watching it, first episode come and you're just hooked.
Oh, mega
the
hooked.
way they start, and I guess what I think is different is that I really like the approach that they're giving it. They start, the first scene that you see of Chernobyl is not of the explosion. It's not the moments leading up to it or anything. It's a guy kills himself, right? One guy just kills himself, and then right after that, the main character, Professor Legasov, and then you start right away with you see this woman. She's a firefighter's wife.
Yeah.
She's just waking up from sleep, just early in the morning, went to get a cup of water. You see the explosion happen far away, and she doesn't even recognize it until that it's happening, until the shock waves. I like it so much because instead of it focusing and just on that, they focus on the characters. And that's what I really like about it there, is that they focus on how it affects certain characters. Like the explosion is almost like a secondary character. It's you see through the eyes of the people, and I really like that approach, because even when you go into the plant, you hardly see the actual explosion until, I'd say, 3/4, almost at the end of the first episode, is when you finally see the whole plant that is on fire, and you're like, oh shit, you always just see a little glimpse of it.
But the thing is, they did it well in a way where the actual explosion is the least scary thing.
Yeah, it's not the focus of it. It's the people, the way they live through it, right? So it's not like documentary style where it's like removed. You're with them. You're with them going through all these motions.
Knee deep, bro. I was super involved. It was crazy. I was like, I know that Chernobyl happened, but what really happened, man? Like the details, the politics behind it, who ordered to do what? Like everything was so crazy to me. It was absolutely mind-blowing that sometimes people don't really care about the actual well-being of their not citizens, of their neighbors, of they could be your wife, your children, they could be your neighbor, but you have like ideals, let's call them that supersede the value of life, and it's kind of crazy.
But I think it's also even more prominent now in the show because they're in the USSR, where they had exactly that. It was the state is the number one thing, right? So it's like there's no religion there. There's no like I said, sorry, no religion. The state is the religion. The state takes every decision. It's the thing that you have to look for and like bow to them, right? So for example, the director of the plant and the chief engineer, they know that if they admit that they're wrong, that that it exploded and everything, they're gonna get, it's a scary place, USSR. It's like go right into the gulag, and here's the 20 years of hard labor, bang bang boom, and just like you're like fuck, right? So you just try to slide it on other people. Oh no, it's not my fault, it's that guy's fault. Oh no, it's not my fault, it's that guy's fault. No, that's not happening. It's all of that. So it's funny also that they're showing also the way it was handled. If it was handled by any other country, right,
it
would have
wouldn't
been
be like this.
drastically different responses, right?
I was so shook when I saw people that were like in the facility, in the nuclear plant and all, being so convinced that they couldn't have fucked it up, and like because of the implications, right? You're like, if the outside world learns about such a fuck up, our reputation will be so hurt that the image of the powerful empire that we are trying to project will be shattered. And yeah, they like, how can I say, they just refused to see reality as it was in front of their eyes, and they were like convinced it couldn't be possible, and that shook me, to be honest.
No, yeah, and that's what at the end in the second episode when they're talking to what's his name, Gorbachev, and he says exactly that there, that our strength comes from our perception of strength.
Yeah.
At the end, USSR were on brink of collapse. That was what, 5 years before the fall of the Berlin Wall, or
It's like 3 years. It's 3 years. So yeah, we're far. We're like, I don't think we're close to the period of Stalin and everything. We're much closer to this period of transition in the USSR towards Russia, and as you said, the fall of the Berlin Wall. So it's not like we are in the years after the Second World War. We're almost at the end of the USSR empire, but still you can feel and sense that whole domination of this way of thinking, and how it's oppressing the people. Now we have to control and everything, and how we have to appear superior compared to the West, because they mentioned I don't know how many times the United States, like, we cannot look weak in front of the Americans. We have to look strong in front of the Americans.
Yeah, deny.
Yeah.
Or like, remember in episode 1 when the guy's making his speech there?
Yeah.
He was about Lenin and everything. It's just like, but you see that, and so there's a companion podcast, right? Where every episode there's the creator, and I forget somebody else, who talk about it, and they talk about different aspects, why the creator took that decision to portray a certain fact this way, blah blah blah, and when he's talking about that scene, especially about the old guy, talking about Lenin and everything, is that old man, he grew up right during the Bolshevik the revolution, and the Bolsheviks taking power and everything like that, and them, so he knew what it was before, right? And he fell in love with this ideology, and fell in love with Lenin, and put on the side religion, and he gave his full commitment to this entity that is the state, right, to the USSR. And putting that much faith in it is, you believe it. You see when he's talking, he's not faking. He's actually really believing what the fuck he's saying, right? But it's just that he has so much faith in it. Maybe it's misplaced faith, but he has so much faith in it that he's like, no, don't worry about it.
Yep.
We've always, sludged through everything,
And he was so unwavering. That was so scary to me. I couldn't.
And at the end, the guy's clapping. Yeah, let's go. And it's just like, to them, it's that, they see the government as being God, right? Being this holy institution, So it's crazy first episode, in my opinion. There, it's just the way they set it up, the way it's like you slowly uncover, and then it's like you see the people in denial, and we get a bit more information because we follow through different perspectives or stuff like that. We see different points of view, so we know we have a clearer picture. But still, there's some people like what's his name, Dyatlov there, the chief science, whatever, the guy who was conducting the test there. He walked. Remember, I don't know if you guys caught that scene, and I only caught it in my second viewing or third viewing.
Yeah.
He's walking. He's going like, I'm gonna go, and he's walking, and he's walking through this bridge in the facility, and he looks outside, and on the floor he sees graphite. He sees it. He sees the pieces, and he's just staring at it. But it's like his brain is like, no, that's impossible. It can't be, right? So he just decides, you know what? This information, this thing that I saw, I'm ignoring it.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah, delete.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Yeah, well, this is what was surprising to me, is that, for a lot of times you've got, I don't know what's the name of, Lebazov? What's his name?
Legasov.
Yeah, my bad. So, he's a great physicist, and you have the woman coming from
Komyuk.
Commuting to work.
Ulana Komyuk.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I just remember that she came from Belarusia.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have these two physicists that they have a lot of ideas all to solve the problem, and they recognize that there's a problem. They're not completely blind by it. But what I find surprising is that you see all these engineers and all these physicists working on the plant, and they're so brainwashed and they're so inside of the system that they're not able to use their critical thinking to see, as you said, to see that there's fucking graphite on the floor, and you're not even able to admit it to yourself.
Yeah,
it's one thing to lie to the others, but when you're lying to yourself at this point, I mean, it's a lost cause, and that's why it's degrading, if I may say.
No play on words.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they were like, how do we fix this? And then he's like, this is the first time that this shit ever happened on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true when you think about it. It
Yes.
has never happened before.
Imagine being at the helm of that and trying to take, how do you say?
Responsibility, or not responsibility, but taking charge and trying to fix this.
Yeah, and trying to be, like he said, critical, trying to be mindful of all the parameters, and you don't have time. You have to do it quick.
Yeah, because every hour, like he was saying, every hour is like 40, how you call it? Hiroshima or 2 or whatever, Hiroshima explosion every hour.
Imagine the quantity of radiation. And what was completely like foreign to me, I didn't know about that, was the fact that if you picked up a part of the core, the graphite you guys were talking about on the ground, that shit is gonna mutate the fuck out of your cells, and you're gonna melt, bro. You're gonna get like severely burned and die from this shit.
But because that's radiation, that's what it does, huh?
But I didn't know like it was that bad.
And even what's worse is that it goes and destroys your DNA.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it does that, right?
Yeah,
It can't
fuck.
regenerate because it becomes completely unusable.
Yeah. No, it's that's some scary ass shit, and I think one of my favorite scenes through the whole goddamn thing is, well, actually I have two, in especially in episode 2 there, is when they're in the helicopter and he's like, go on top of the core or I'll put a
Yes.
bullet in you. And the guy goes to him and says, if you go through there, tomorrow you'll be begging for that bullet.
Yeah, that was such a powerful line.
It was a
Yeah.
chilling thing. And also when they're always talking about 3.6 Rotgun, 3.6, 3.6, 3.33, 3.6.
That was the max
And then
of the minimum detector they had.
and then they send the general in his, and that's a badass scene I find there, the way when they're washing him there and kind of a
Yeah.
bit in slow motion and everything. And he comes back and he's like, yeah, that's 15,000.
It
And they're
maxed
like,
it out again.
they're like, fuck.
It's much more than like it's crazy. I don't really understand what this figure means, but once they give you something to compare it to, like they were like, yeah, 3.6, this is bad. We should evacuate. People should take iodine pills, and maybe we're gonna make it through with not too many deaths. Bro, if only it was 3.6. If only. It's thousands of times more than that.
And even when it was 3.6, remember? And they're saying, the guy is saying, in the beginning, the directors and everything, they're like, 3.6, not bad, but not great. and then there's Legasov. He's on the phone and they're like, it's 3.6, and he's like, well, shit, you should be evacuating right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. That's the first thing he says when he picks up the phone.
It's crazy. He's like, first thing he's like, holy shit, this is bad. Like in the beginning, I remember seeing it. I'm like, oh, 3.6, okay, And then chest X-ray, and then the guy's like, bitch, that's more like 400 chest X-ray.
Yes, imagine. That's crazy to me. And what's very, very fun in this series to me is the fact that we have. Is it true to life? The reenactment of the discussions and.
So most of everything is how you call it, accurate.
Okay.
So the helicopter that crashes and everything in the beginning there, when they're dumping sand, real.
Yeah.
The first meeting when they have it and the guy starts talking about Lenin and everything,
Yeah.
real. Now the dialogues may be a bit different there. They don't have a exact, transcript of everything, so it was a bit improvised. But most of everything that is there, and especially like in terms of actions, for example, like sending those 3 divers at the end, that's all real.
Shit.
The helicopter, that's all real. The meetings with Gorbachev, all real. His suicide in the beginning, all real. So
That's
so yeah.
crazy.
So there's a couple things that are they took some liberties there. And anyways, I won't go too much into details because at the end of, I think they just kind of show a bit. They show the actual, like, some footage and some photos and everything
Yeah.
there, so you get to compare. But no, apparently, like I said, I'm not a historian or anything, but it's mostly true on all stuff. There's just like a couple details.
Okay,
That
good.
is
It's
not.
good to know because I was like, should I, like, take it for granted next time somebody talks with me about the actual event, and I try to, like, I pull off. Yeah, man, it was crazy in that meeting when they said this, and then he's like, "How did you
Yeah.
know?" Like,
Yeah.
no, it's
the
known, right? Sometimes it's known facts. It's what
Yeah.
went on.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, most like the people that were standing on the bridge watching the explosion
Yeah.
there, and there's the ashes that started falling down on their faces there.
Oh my god, I was cringing like never before.
That's all real.
They were like, "Oh,
So
look at the beautiful colors. It's crazy." Hey, snow. That's not snow. It's death.
radioactive ashes coming right on your face.
Oh my god. And the baby. They zoomed in on it. I swear to
Or
god.
like the clothes, the firemen clothes.
Yes.
To this day, they're still in the basement of that hospital.
Because they have to, right? They're too radioactive.
Yeah, and that's
That's crazy.
crazy. All of the whole story. Because, like I said, I've you know, I've seen a bit of here and there news, about Chernobyl or
Yeah.
stuff like that, but nothing that much, right? Just know that it was an explosion, and I think I even did a project when I was in high school, but I was in like first year of high school, and it was just like, oh, this is the explosion. It happened this year, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Nothing more in detail, so you don't get the nitty gritty and then when you do, you're like, oh, okay, what the
Yeah.
fuck,
And like you said, the perspective, like being with the people, makes it a whole lot better. Because that's what we like, right? We want to hear these more personal stories, and that's what we got with that series. And I love it. I loved how episode 2 ended. I was like, if I had to wait a week for it, it would have been the longest week of my life.
Oh, with the divers there.
Yes, it ends
When
with 3 people that are coerced, but at the end they actually volunteered into sacrificing their lives to save millions. And the point of it is to dive into that radioactive water and activate a certain valve so that they can pump out most of the water that's in the tanks. But the problem is that radio waves, not radio waves, radioactive waves, or I don't know, radioactivity, fucks up technology too. And they got fucked up, bro. They got trapped there. No lights, no nothing. And you can listen to the detector of radioactivity going absolutely bonkers.
The
Wild.
decimeters there.
Oh my god.
I love that point because it starts, you hear a bit of that noise there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
like that noise I find is so iconic there. You hear that noise, it's like, oh,
It's bad, bro.
there's radio. You run, right? And so you hear that, and you're like, it starts, and it's like it's quite loud, and then it picks up, and then picks up, and never stops, and you're like, fuck.
Can it get any louder? And then yes, you're like, what is this?
And then all the lights just close. That must be the scariest fucking thing in the planet.
You can hear them breathe. They were like, bro, I decided to sacrifice myself and help the cause, right? I didn't go for it to die like a dog in the dark and still people die with me. It was so bad, bro. I was like, I want to see episode 3 right now.
So there is a question about, because that was one of the first, when I watched it the first time, right? I had the thought about going, they decided to use English accents.
Yes.
They didn't go with the
American
Russian accents or
yeah.
anything, or they went straight with just pure English accents. And I was gonna ask you guys, do you think it fits? Do you think they should have tried to use more like Russian accents, or
they do try when they speak the names of the people or the cities or like actual names, but like, apart from that they don't try at all, and I think it's for the better because it would be cringy as fuck.
No,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
they're not people from Russia or any of those countries. So yeah, I think like Momo said, I think it would be weird. And since of course I think I would have preferred if it was all in Russian with subtitles. I think it would be better because it would it would be more representative and it's a better immersion in the end. But if you choose to go for English, it's fine by me. But I don't think you should try to you know it's already weird that it's in English, so don't make it weirder by just trying to sound Russian when you're not Russian.
And imagine
yeah,
like they miss the mark. It would be
yeah,
even worse.
because it's
Yeah,
not just one or two people that have to fake the accent, or you could have actually took Russian actors, right? But I think it's a
I
bit.
would have read through the subtitles. I would, but I don't know. I
But you
think it's
see,
pretty enjoyable right now.
I
So.
agree with you that I really don't mind that they went with English, because, and the only reason I'm kind of okay with it, it's because I find the atmosphere and the way they dress and everything, the decor, everything, it makes it look so much like Soviet,
Mhm.
like architecture, Soviet clothing. Like, I don't know, like, even, it's weird to say, but their faces, they're not Russian,
But they look
but they all
Russian.
look fucking Russian.
yeah,
So
like the actor playing Legazov. I know him for playing Professor Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes movies by Guy Ritchie, and now I recognize him because of his voice, but for his face only, I wouldn't recognize him. When I looked at him, I was like, this is just a random Russian guy that they picked for the movie, but actually, it's the same actor. It's just I think they've done a lot of makeup work for their faces so that they
oh,
look
probably,
kind of different.
probably.
Because yeah,
The
I mean
Bigger,
costumes, man.
bigger
yeah, the
noses.
costumes also.
That, there's my dad looks like that. Typical Slavic fucking face, like
Yeah,
copy
they're
paste.
more white.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I was wondering because for we were looking at when we were watching the scene where they asked Gorbachev, we'll have to sacrifice 3 people, and I couldn't help but remember our discussion about dilemmas with the trolley when he said that, because I was like, I bet I bet that Kyle and I would be on the side of saying, of course we have to sacrifice those 3 lives to save, you know 60 millions. But I couldn't help but thinking, I'm sure that Momo would be like, well, it's already not in our hands, so we better not take anyone's life anymore and just leave the shit as it is.
Life's a bitch.
Life's
Life's
a
a
Grab
bitch.
bitch.
I won't interfere with what's going on right now. It's not my responsibility, so I
My
just let it be.
responsibility is evacuating the people. Can I evacuate everybody? No, but I will try.
But what happens? But let's say you don't do anything, and there is that explosion with the water tanks. That means half of Europe is dead.
No, man, just let him. Even if you do your possible, and if you do the impossible and you succeed in evacuating everyone in the city nearby, in the 72 hours, you manage to do that, and 72 hours is like the maximum. But
Yeah, yeah.
even that, we say you
Let's be
manage to do
generous.
that.
Let's be generous.
Yeah, you would be like, yeah,
Hell,
I did.
give it a week. Give it a week, whatever.
Give it a week,
give it a
man.
week.
Give it a week.
You would still have on your hands the death of more than, I don't know, like 30 million people,
And
Yeah.
just because you
all
were
the
not
return.
willing to sacrifice 3 lives of workers that were already infected.
Yeah, that's true. If they want to sacrifice themselves, good, but I'm not gonna force anybody. And I'm not gonna choose anybody specifically to go ahead and do it. You guys would push the fucking button. You would.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would, to save more than 30 million lives, and if in the worst case scenario 60 million lives and half of Europe, yeah,
Well,
I think I would
okay,
push the
let's
button.
switch it out, you little snarky ass weasel. If you were in that room and then they were like, yeah, who's gonna volunteer? Who's gonna go there? Would you have gone?
Well, first, I don't think I would be in that room because
See?
for me,
You
I
fucking
would.
weasel.
I would probably be a physicist, so I wouldn't be in that mess
You
of being a
weasel, I
worker.
swear to
No,
God.
no,
That's
no.
the
But
first thing.
listen,
But
listen.
the second thing, if I were a worker and if I knew how the plantation worked and if I had to sacrifice my life to save more than 16 million lives, I would do it. I would stand up and I would do it.
Okay, because I thought you were the kind of guy that was like, yeah, 3 other people than myself, yes, but if it means no self-preservation...
Nah, I would do it. I would do it.
Yeah, same. I'd probably not be the first to jump off. Wait until, let's see, maybe give it 10 minutes to see if there's 3 people that lifts their arms. But
Yeah.
if after that 10 minutes nobody proposed themselves, I'd go, okay, I'll take one for the team.
Because you're
Yeah,
already
exactly.
dead. That's the thing. You're already dead.
No, it's just we're going to die. I mean, sooner.
It's like the
just that.
meme, right? Omae wa mo shindiru. You're already dead, bro. So what will you do of those last precious moments? Cry
I-
with your family and hug, or save 60 million people?
But let's say this situation, my little lefty communist here. Let's say
I
that
wonder who's talking
you were in
about.
that
Kyle,
room because
do
I'm
you feel
sure of one
concerned?
thing. I'm sure of one thing that if you were in that room, because I know you have a lot of esteem for self-preservation. I think you wouldn't be even in the room. You would say, "No, I've never worked there," and I think you would leave the country as soon as you could.
Bruh. Actually, if I knew that, like, if I knew the what they were told, right? If I was in the know, I think I would have. I would be like, you know what? One last good action. I think I could go a long way with that.
Ah, you see,
It's
yeah.
a very
Well, I think
good
it's a good
action,
thing.
man.
I think it's
It would be
Yeah, it's
worth a lot of points in that scoreboard, you know?
oh, you and your scoreboard.
Yo, I want to be highest score, bro. People are trying
Yeah.
to speed run,
Oh.
have high scores. I want to have a high score at life, bro. In good actions, yes. Sign me up.
I guess if you say it, if you well, it's you go for what you believe, I guess. But
Yeah, you're like,
um,
bro, fuck this board, bro. I don't care.
I don't think there's a board on anything. I just
There
think
is,
it's
bro. I'm telling you. Just so
all
you know.
right. But yeah, anyway, I think no, but I think it's a good thing. If I think it's a good thing that we would be willing to go inside that plant. But me, if I want to be very rational, the thing I would like to say is that I like to think this is what I would do. I like to think this is what I would do because you never know until
You'll
you're
never
in the
know. That's true.
situation. Yeah.
Oh, for sure there.
Did you want to add anything else, guys, before I give you your homework slash recommendation?
No, I think I'm just excited. I'm sure like you guys are to see what episode 3 has to offer.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, by this time next week we'll be done with the whole series, so we'll be able to do like a full review next week about this great show. I have great expectations for this show. I thought it was going to be focused more about the explosion and everything, but I'm very pleased that it's more about the people that were involved and how the government handled it. I think it's the more interesting point of view, and I'm very happy that this is what they're showing us, and it's not something only like Kyle said as a documentary where they explain the cause and the.
It's
So
the
yeah.
story we want to be told, right?
Yes, it is.
That would be a subject for another podcast. But until then, let's stick with the homework, right? So we said that in the container podcast, every week we would give each other something to work on, experience, and then come back with whatever feedback you have, you know, whatever kind of experience you, whatever emotion you felt, whatever, you know. Every week we do that. This time it was about the first 2 episodes of Chernobyl, but I hesitated this time. I was like, the guys have seen so many movies. I'm out of my zone of comfort now. I think I've recommended pretty much everything I cared about. almost. So I was like, let's see. There is other kind of works of art that I would want to recommend, and I looked at our episode 14 with the separation of the Daft Punks, and I was remembering the study time I had listening to Random Access Memory, their latest album, their last album, because there is no latest when it's over. But yeah,
Is it the one with
Get Lucky, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So I was listening to that, right? And I love it. I really do. The Daft Punks are absolutely amazing to me. And this time, when I was listening to it from start to end, like I did many times before, but some lyrics completely shook me to my core as I was studying macroeconomics. Like, go figure. But it was incredible. Like I could feel something. I could feel the artistic drive behind that album, what they wanted to achieve, what they wanted to tell. And it's, I don't know if you will believe me, but I think that it's storytelling through music. And I found it absolutely beautiful. So if you guys want to hear the album out and have the lyrics, because you guys don't understand robot maybe, so you might want to get like a YouTube video with the lyrics and all, and just listen along and read once in a while, because it repeats itself every now and then, and maybe take some notes. That would be like recommendation 1. But recommendation 2 would be another medium that I love, and it's video games. And I want you guys to play an actual good / great action game. A gamey ass game. A game for the gamers. A game for the pleasure of your eyes, thumbs, like I said, a gamey ass game. And that game is Devil May Cry 5. It's the 5th game in the series, but don't think about that. It's not the important part. The important part is that it looks really pretty, it plays really good, and it's the most recent iteration in a series that improved on itself at every chance it had. And we don't talk about 2. Please never look up Devil May Cry 2 ever. Maybe
But I think I've played not the 5th one though. I think it was the 4th one.
But yeah, so that would be my recommendation. So you guys have free reign. If you guys prefer one over the other, go ahead. If you want to do both, you could do that too. Devil May Cry takes about 11 hours to beat, but it's the kind of game that you beat multiple times because it's just that good. You want more, and the more you play, the better you are, the more creative and physically able you become. Like your brain begins to do more complex connections and you feel good. So I want you guys to discover that feeling of experimenting and in an action game, because you guys experiment a lot in like open world games and all, but in an action game.
Well, I think what we maybe can do is for next week we do Daft Punk, but we because if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it the whole thing. I won't play just an hour of it and just to speak for it there.
Yeah.
So maybe what we can do is for Devil May Cry, I don't know, 2-3 weeks or something like that for us to have time to finish it. And if we want to, like you said, if it's a game that you need to do a couple playthroughs or whatever, maybe it gives us time to do that.
Yeah, I might not recommend you guys to do the multiple playthroughs, but I would recommend that
if I'm gonna play, like I said, I'm gonna at least finish it.
Yeah.
So.
You guys need to finish it and finish it at the highest base difficulty the game gives you. And what else? You will unlock some kind of training mode during the game. And I would whenever that happens, message me and I'd be able to like give you some hints. Maybe the game doesn't tell you about certain mechanics that I found very cool and that you might find a lot of uses out of. So I'm like, I want the guys to feel like they're only limited by their time, and they understand how fucking huge and complex the thing is. It's not a button masher. Like it can be, but it can be so much more.
Fair enough.
So
Excited for
yeah.
it.
What about you, Jackie? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think we'll try. We'll try to do it this way. Next week, like Kyle said, I think we can review the Daft Punk album, and we'll finish our review of Chernobyl. And then afterwards, we'll see. I think we'll try 1 week. We'll see how far we are in the game, and then we'll be able to decide if we're able to do the review after 2 weeks or after 3 weeks. Because I think afterwards it's my turn, and me, I won't go into a video game or a series. I think I'll go for a movie. So I think it would be great if in 2 weeks we're done with the game and we can do the review for not the next podcast, but the one after that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, that would be perfect like that.
homeworks are getting crazy, but I hope that you guys are still having fun.
Yeah. But that I think that's what's cool about the homework is it doesn't just have to be a movie. It could be a short series. It could be a book or a poem. It could be a video game. Anything. That's
I think at one point I will have to. There's like one series I want you guys to try. We'll have to do a podcast on that. I'll give you like 1 or 2 weeks to watch the whole show. It's called One Piece. So
Oh my god, no.
I already started. Don't worry.
Oh no, I'm so in behind. I will never finish it.
I give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks to watch the whole thing, and then
No
we can
problem,
discuss
no
it.
problem. no
I'll
problem.
ask my friends at the Discord. We have some One Piece fans, and yeah, bro, they know everything. They will be like, yo, so it started like this, and then like at 6 a.m., I will be like, is it over yet? No. And then this happened, and then this. I'm like, no.
All right.
Right.
Well, good. That's up to episode 3 now.
Yes, that's what we'll do. So, guys, if you want to join the experience, you can definitely go ahead on which streaming service, Kyle?
I have it on Crave.
You
which
think
is-
it's on
it-
Netflix too?
No, I think. Well, no, because it's a HBO show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it. HBO is much more selective of where. But I'll tell you guys something. You shouldn't have too much problems finding it on the high seas.
We love to sail the seven seas.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm gonna go get my Devil May Cry 5 copy.
I wonder. I was about to tell you guys that I could share my library, but not
Oh, well,
precise.
then, yeah,
Not precise
that.
if it was the Steam library or the torrent library.
We'll do either or. It doesn't matter to me.
Don't worry, man. I'm broke, so just understand that you'll need a BitTorrent or a uTorrent.
Mine is already downloading.
Yeah, good. So yeah, until next time, everybody. Bye bye.
Alright.